Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha has dismissed calls to reopen schools in September to enable Standard 8 and Form 4 candidates sit for their national examinations. Professor Magoha says the resumption of physical classes before COVID-19 is brought under control will endanger the lives of learners. The Education Cabinet Secretary also clarified the decision to reopen schools in January next year is not cast in stone and can change subject to advice from experts.
Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha maintains schools will be reopened in January 2021 unless the head of state decides otherwise.
That answer and decision will be made only by one person who is elected by everybody, who will take the risk. Are we together here? Because he is fully in charge. If all the institutions are ready, do we then decide to open because people are saying so? His Excellency the President must then decide himself whether he can take the risk.
According to Professor Magoha, uncalculated plans to resume physical learning in schools will catalyze the spread of COVID-19 among children.
The right to life and the right to education, which one is more important? If the right to life is more important, then ignore all the noise and the hula balloons you are listening to. Because every Kenyan child has a right to live. Yes. If we are to open schools before we are prepared, before the disease comes down and is controlled, a number of children are going to die. Whose children are these that you want to sacrifice?
The Cabinet Secretary urged Kenyans to support the community teaching initiative introduced by the government aimed at keeping learners productively engaged. Magoha spoke at the Siaya Institute of Technology in Siaya Town on Wednesday during a tour to gauge the preparedness of the institution for resumption of learning. Meanwhile, the Kenya Private Schools Association has partnered with Absa Bank to accelerate the adoption of virtual learning in private primary and secondary schools across the country. The initiative, dubbed Masomo Iendelee Linda Mwalimu, also aims at boosting the financial position and sustainability of schools, while at the same time cushioning teachers during the difficult economic times. Kamchemenza for Channel 1 News.